I remember the first patient that actually died on me, I cried. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be speaking about a topic which I think anyone that is interested in going into the profession of nutrition and dietetics should know. And so I honestly feel that this is some information which people should have told me before I entered into dietetics. So today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly of the dietetics profession. The field of dietetics is a very rewarding field when you are dealing with a patient, when you're dealing with a client and you're counseling them, you're giving them medical nutrition-based therapy, and you actually see the changes that are taking place. You can see the cholesterol going down. It's a very rewarding field. I was speaking to a client of mine the other day and he was saying, you know, Kim, I thank you very much. My blood pressure isn't as high. I'm not out of breath. My legs aren't swelling anymore. So that is that is very rewarding in the field. Something else that's very rewarding is the networking. Dietitians, we love to network. We love to meet each other. We love to see what other opportunities are out there to matriculate, to grow yourself in the field. So the networking is definitely a plus. Something else that is good with dietetics is you practice dietetics as an evidence-based practice. So say for instance, you're given a recommendation to a patient, you're just not pulling these things out of thin air. The research is done, the research is there to show you that you're actually practicing according to the most up-to-date research. That is, of course, if you keep yourself abreast of the most up-to-date research. In my opinion, there is a great demand for dietitians in healthcare. Like, something else that I do like as a dietitian, another good, is collaborating with the interdisciplinary team. It's very good when you do work with an interdisciplinary team that knows that, hey, it really depends on the dietitian, the doctor, the physical therapist, the nurse, working as a cohesive unit to bring about the desired change that one desires to see in a client or the patient. So I do really enjoy the interdisciplinary aspect of dietetics. So those are all the positive, all the good things. So let's move into the bad. So one bad thing that I can remember, being fresh out of school, being a textbook dietitian is not the same as being a clinical dietitian. Like, you know, when you're doing your internship, when you're in school, they tell you, you know, do this, do this, do this, A, B, C, D. But then like in the real life setting, it's not necessarily so. Especially when it comes to like combination diseases. Like for instance, when it comes to treating a patient or giving them medical nutrition therapy, that's the word I should use, for a patient that has diverticulitis, plus they're diabetic, plus they have renal disease, plus they have ulcers, you're like, oh my, what do? I have to kind of make an individualized game plan to hit all of these things. But of course, you know, you have to prioritize, and so, you know, the main thing. So that was actually one of my first cons. So something else, when I actually first started working in the profession, I was like, oh my goodness, this profession is not for me. And again, I don't know if that had to deal with, you know, who was training me at the time, but I just felt lost. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I was a fish out of water and I was either gonna swim or I was gonna die. I can't tell you how many times I thought that, you know, I did not know enough coming right out of the internship to go into the workplace. But don't be alarmed. This is something that I feel from speaking with other dietitians that everyone experiences. That as soon as you come out of school, you don't know what you're doing. And actually your knowledge of the profession will grow as you continue, as you get that real job experience. Something else that is a bad is people think that dietitians are the food police, which I can kind of see why, but I don't understand why. I guess people have a very bad connotation of what a dietitian actually does. People just think, oh, you know, we're just here to talk about food, and That is just a little smidge of it. We're here to talk about food in relationship to your health to optimize your whole entire well-being. So there are sometimes I go inside a patient's room and I say, hi, I'm Kim, I'm your dietitian. And they say, oh no, I already took my food order. The other girl took it. I'm like, no, I'm not here to take your food order. I'm here to talk about your high cholesterol. So people actually do have a very negative connotation of what a dietitian does, and as well as some of my colleagues, they think I'm always judging them. I'm the food police on what they eat. And to be honest with you, I don't know how many times I have kindly and brashly stated to them, well, I really don't care what you eat. You're not my client. Something else as well. When dietitians do decide they want to indulge, like for instance, if I want to eat a bag of chips, I have tons of people I work with just look at me like, you're eating chips? Yes, dietitians like to indulge in some of their favorites, and I'll be honest with you, potato chips is one of my favorite snack foods. Being judged on food choices at times because people believe like, oh, you just eat salads and everything is grilled and nothing fried, and you know, 9 fruits and 9 veggies a day. No, dietitians are humans as well. Something else that is a bad in the profession is, to be honest with you, I do not like educating patients on all diet topics. For instance, all dietitians have their strengths and weaknesses. I feel one of my strengths is talking to people about, you know, wounds and increased protein and obesity and diabetes. But when it comes to like leaky gut, those are not some of my favorite topics. So not all dietitians really like to educate patients on all diseases. The ugly of dietetics. So sometimes you do have patients die on you. I remember the first patient that actually died on me, I cried. This patient was intubated, and you know, I was giving them a particular enteral nutrition, and I thought that this enteral nutrition was going to help decrease their inflammatory response and the whole 9 yards, and just bring them back from the dead. I mean, that's how I felt as a dietitian. I felt like Superwoman. That was again when I was a new dietitian, so that was a very ugly experience for me. Another ugly experience for me, which, you know, after that experience I kind of said, okay Kim, you know, you need to stop being so emotional. I try not to get too emotionally attached to my patients, especially when I was working in dialysis. You know, you see these patients in and out. I mean, they're constant in your life. And I don't know about other dietitians, but for me, when someone becomes a constant in my life, you know, you desire the best for them. You desire to see their labs improve. You desire to see their lifestyle improve. And I mean, these can be consuming thoughts. Working in dialysis, as well as working in the hospital in a clinical setting, I decided to kind of emotionally withdraw myself from patients. You know, even though, you know, you're still warm as a dietitian, you still desire their best healthcare, but you're so afraid that if they die, or if they die, that it's just gonna hurt you so bad. So one of the ugly sides of dietetics is, you know, you kind of have to grow a little stronger backbone and kind of become a little emotionally detached. That death is a very serious thing, and you know, I don't want to come off here, you know, sounding insensitive, but I'm just telling you the ugly side of it. So another ugly aspect of dietetics, I remember I was speaking to a dietitian who decided to leave the profession, and she went back to school and she became a physician's assistant. And I was talking to her, you know, I was excited for her, like, yeah, you know, you got two professions that you can work in, and this particular former dietitian told me that dietitians are useless, and I was like, what? Dietitians do so many things, and so that's another ugly aspect. A lot of people underestimate what a dietitian does, how a dietitian can impact the workplace, how a dietitian can impact patients, residents, clients. Another ugly experience I had, and I actually didn't even think it was an ugly experience until someone actually pointed it out to me. And now I'm looking at it and I can see like, yeah, that's true. So a lot of people think that dietitians are kind of like the walking menu, like the lunch lady, no pun intended, for those of you that do that profession. Thank you very much. So a lot of my coworkers say, oh, what's on the lunch menu today? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not the one that does the lunch menu. Check your email. There's emails, there's postings all over the hospital for it. Just as easily as you ask me, you could have looked it up. As a matter of fact, I'm asking you, well, what's for lunch today? They kind of underestimate the profession. And again, that is my honest, good, bad, and ugly of the profession. If you're a dietitian out there and you know any more good, bad, or ugly experiences or anything that you want to share related to the field of dietetics, please leave it in the comment section below. Guys, remember to like and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions pertaining to specifically the field of dietetics or what I do on a day-to-day basis, there are videos in my description box below. Remember to like or subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye. I was a non-traditional student, so after I got my bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics, I decided to take a 1.5 years off of school.